This is the future.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Warframe video. So Digital Extremes has released the Warframe stats for 2023 and I was not expecting the meta Warframe right now in the game. Honestly, I thought that it was a race between Wisp Prime and Wukong Prime at the top 1 spot, but there's a new king right now sitting on the top and it's Revenant Prime. The top 10 meta Warframe right now based on the recent Warframe statistics are Excalibur, Umbra, Sarean Prime, Wisp, Volt, Mesa Prime, Korra Prime, Excalibur, Volt Prime, Wukong Prime, and then sitting at the top, Revenant Prime. Probably, Excalibur is still the most popular starter Warframe is based on the Mastery Rank heat map. Most of the players who choose the Warframe are from Mastery Rank 1 to Mastery Rank 4. The Umbre version of the Warframe is probably at the top as the Excalibur lovers continue their playthrough until they get the Umbra version during the Sacrifice quest. Mesa Prime is also obvious as it's one of the most broken Warframes in the game that can almost do every possible mission. After the Whispers and the Walls update, I think that the Warframe has made another big wave of new Mesa lovers because most of the missions in Sanctum Anatomica are easily dealt with just by playing Mesa Prime. The Warframe is a complete package as it can both kill and defend at the same time just by pressing her Peacemaker ability. Volt Prime and Wukong Prime are also obvious because I always see a lot of players running around using these Warframes and finishing missions fast. Volt Prime can nuke also with his 4th ability and is great in normal star chart missions like cracking relics, while Wukong Prime is an all-rounder Warframe which can speedrun, tank, and just generally make the whole mission fast and easy. The only thing that I don't like while playing with players using these Warframes is that sometimes you will be teamed with assholes who navigate their way to the extraction point and just wait for the mission to complete. These players exist, especially in the Whispers and the Walls missions, and it's annoying that they just sit in one place while the rest of you are doing your best to complete the mission at the fastest time possible. The worst is probably Wukong, as he can go to places where enemies can't reach or fire at him. Now, I am not saying that these Warframes should be nerfed because they have abilities to speed run missions or navigate their way to safe places within a tile set, but I am hoping that there will be some sort of penalties to these players not doing anything in the mission. I don't dislike the Warframes, but the players who are using these Warframes to cheese the mission by completely not doing anything to help the team. In addition, I don't know if Volt will still be meta this year after Digital Extremes added the Arcane Dissolution system. We all know that Volt or Volt Prime is the best Eidolon Hunter in the game, as his electric shield gives bonus electric and critical damage to Operator's Amp. This allows us to take down the shields of Eidolon fast and farm all those arcanes within the span of a night cycle. However, with Arcane Dissolution, we now have the option to disregard Eidolon hunting if we already have our focus schools at max levels. And I think this will have a massive effect to the Warframe's usage rate. Wisp is still meta, but has fallen to the top 8 from the second most popular Warframe in the game back in 2022. And get this, Korra Prime is now top 5 of the most popular Warframe in the game from being number 22 Warframe in the 2022 Warframe stats. Now, I hope you don't hate me for this, but as a farming Warframe, I think Necros Prime is still the best because his Desecrate is more of an aura-based ability that lets you move freely. However, Korra is not just a farming Warframe, to be honest, and her general gameplay involves ensnaring enemies together with her second ability and then killing them with red crit numbers with her Whip Claw. She got a good advertisement also during the pet rework, as with Duplex Bond, you can have lots of Cavets in the field, but that's just a small feature though, and I think the biggest reason why players use Korra a lot is that it's easier to do millions of red crit damage now with her Whip Claw because of the pet rework, more specifically the Diriga that can inflict multiple statuses, and then the Incarnate Ceramic Dagger, which makes it easier to gain not just tier 1 red crit for Korra, but possibly higher tiers depending on the amount of critical chance you get from your Riven mod. The Warframe that has been removed from the top 10 is Nezha Prime, which is a good Warframe overall when it comes to killing enemies with his debuff, surviving with his warding halo, and crowd controlling targets with his 4th ability. You can say that the Warframe is a complete package also, but right now the Warframe stats for 2023 say that he doesn't belong to the top but only at the 22 spot. Sarean Prime has also fallen, but she is still top Warframe. Honestly, I think the reason behind Sarean going down some rank is that she's not considered by many as the best nuker Warframe anymore. Thermal Sunder Garuda or even Gauss Prime Thermal Sunder are probably the best nuker in the game right now, as you can rack up kills fast compared to Sarean Spores and will take some time to kill enemies. enemies. However, Sarin Prime is still at the top of the food chain because of her amazing synergy with weapons like the Incarnate Dual Ichor that turns the Warframe into a melee condition overload goddess. She got this kit wherein players are satisfied to build her for melee dominance so she can do viral with her 4th ability or Subsuming Nourish. Then, she got her Venom Dose Augment that gives corrosive to your weapon, and of course, her spores do spread corrosive too. Then, she got Toxic Lash, which gives your weapons toxin damage, and it does not combine with other elements, and with the new melee Influence Arcane, you can spread these status effectively, making her a great condition overload nuking goddess. While Varuna is best when it comes to spreading multiple statuses just by using one ability, but still, many prefer Sarin because she is satisfying to use. And then, the biggest shocker in this list is probably Revenant Prime. I expect this Warframe to be at the top of the list after Digital Extremes added Archon Hunts, but I did not expect that it would be the #1 meta Warframe in 2023. Looking at the Warframe stats for 2023, it seems like most players who are at Mastery Rank 14 to Mastery Rank 20 chose to Revenant Prime as their main Warframe. These are the levels in the game where you don't have access to survivability setup in the game, and you are just learning the perfect way to survive in Warframe. Back in the days, these were Chroma and Wukong's territory here in terms of progressing through the star chart, but when Steel Path levels were released, damage reduction was not enough. To be honest, I am not shocked about why players choose Revenant Prime, as obviously the Warframe is the real immortal in Warframe right now with his Mesmer Skin ability. When used, Revenant surrounds himself in a shroud of sentient energy that reflects incoming enemy attacks. The attackers receive 100% of the reflected damage and status effects, while also becoming stunned for a couple of seconds. Upon consuming a charge, Revenant becomes invulnerable for 1 second, and Mesmer Skin lasts until all charges are used. To make it short, this ability will make you invulnerable to almost all attacks, except for magnetic procs that disables abilities. The best part is that with all the current mods and setup to maintain your energy, you can recast Mesmer Skin in any time that it's close to 0 charges. In addition, the ability received a significant change during the Xmas rework. With the addition of Overguard, the efficiency of Mesmer Skin was affected, as rapid-fire overguarded enemies would melt through their Mesmer Skins and remain unaffected by the incoming sleep effect. To bring this ability closer to its original intention, Mesmer Skin will now grant 1 second of invulnerability after a charge is consumed. This gives players time to react to these powerful units before taking their full damage. There are 2 common builds that people are using right now for Revenant Prime in high-level missions. But before that, let me tell you my build for Revenant Prime without any Subsume abilities. Revenant Prime is good without any help from the helmet system, as you can build up for his core ability without sacrificing the efficiency of his other abilities right now. The best build for Revenant Prime is to go with as much power strength as possible to gain more Mesmer Skin charges. Also, adding the Mesmer Shield Augment will increase your ability strength, which gives you more charges, and at the same time, can give 5 charges to your teammate within affinity range. The ability can be spammed right now when you have a good energy maintenance setup, and this will provide the whole team immortality, which is one of the best support setup in the game. Adding power strength will also strengthen the damage of your 4th ability, and you only need to give the Warframe decent range so you can turn yourself into a disco ball of death. However, most of the players I see in the game don't use this ability unless they were doing the Effervo missions during the Operation Gargoyles Cry event or the last phase of the Operation Plague Star event. Most of the players use this slot for their Subsume builds like Roar Revenant or Nourish Revenant. Roar Revenant is obvious as for the weapon buff, while Nourish is good for energy setup and inflicting viral procs, which makes your Reave ability deal more damage. Nourish is probably the most all-rounder build for Revenant, as you can increase your damage through viral, and it lets you maintain the Mesmer Skin stack with just the help of Zenuric Focus or add the new energy mod from the Whispers in the Walls update. In case you don't know, Reave doesn't just scale its damage when you use it against enthrall enemies, but if the target has viral procs, then it will deal more damage, allowing you to possibly one-shot even full Overguard Xmas units in Steel Path levels. The only problem though is you would need your companion or other players to proc the viral status, as it will activate when Mesmer Skin is active. Another problem with Mesmer Skin is that players who are relying on Rage or Hunter Adrenaline setup hate this ability as they can't regenerate energy with it. But only a minority of Warframe players use these types of setup right now, knowing that there are better options in maintaining and regenerating your energy while having the Mesmer Skin charges. While I was shocked about Revenant Prime being meta in the recent Warframe statistics, I'm happy that each year the meta gets changed with all the things being added in the game. Digital Extremes are doing a great job, honestly, right now in improving Warframe, and they have more coming, which we will talk about later. However, take note that the Warframe statistic for this year does not represent all the Warframe players in the game, as we don't know how small or huge the sample size is. So, I would like to know your opinion on who you think should be the meta Warframe last year and who will be the new meta meta this year? Let us discuss this in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Squad leader signing off.
This is the future.